I'm going to list away a set of particular behaviors, and I want you to introspect for yourself and see if you have them and if you engage with them. And it's going to make sense in a few seconds here. I'm going to explain it. So just see, do you have a grandiose sense of self? Do you have an excessive need for admiration? Do you have a disregard for other people's emotions? Do you have an inability to handle criticism? Do you engage in social isolation? Now I want you to just think about that in your mind, and it's going to make sense in a few seconds. I'm going to explain it. Now, in the medical community, they refer to this as something called narcissistic personality disorder. And narcissistic personality disorder is one's grandiose sense of self and has those symptoms. Now, I want to explain to you something, and it's going to become clear why I'm talking about this in a few seconds. There are people who are walking down the street, and they see somebody way across the other side of the road, some individual who they see looks at them. You see that person looking at you, and then they stop what they're doing and they change their behavior. They feel embarrassment for whatever they were doing, and then they change their behavior and they imagine, what must that person be thinking of me? But in reality, what's actually going on is that person is thinking about what everybody else is thinking about them. And so what I'm saying is that we live in a world where everybody's concerned about what other people think of them, when in reality, everyone's primary concern is what other people think of them, what they think of them. So have you ever been in a social situation where you were so concerned about what other people thought of you? Have you ever engaged in social media? You posted something and then you were concerned about what other people might think of that post, what other people might think of you. Have you ever been in the gym and working out and you were concerned about what other people think of what you're doing for the workout or your form or what you're doing? But here's the reality. Other people, their concern is what you think of them. Isn't that funny? So I'll give you a solution here in a few seconds. And the medical community deems this as something that requires some medical attention. So I want you to think about that, the things that I listed as personality, quote-unquote, disorders. And I'm going to list out an extra set of behaviors that's correlated with the ones that I listed off earlier. Number one is excessive need for admiration. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever required recognition? Now, my sweetie brought up something really interesting. She said excessive. They said excessive. To which I say, excessive is always in reference to compared to what? One person's excessive may not be another person's excessive. Do you understand? So the medical community has come up with this term. They might call somebody narcissistic when in reality they're simply human beings with a little bit of requirement for some enlightenment. Now, I come from the background of recognizing that a lot of therapists do more harm than good. And I'm a clinically trained hypnotist, and hypnosis is the underlying presumption in hypnosis, the very fundamental basic in hypnosis is that the brain is a powerful learning mechanism. In fact, it's so powerful that you learn things instantly. Now, you've been taught to believe that you learn things gradually, and you learn things gradually over a long period of time. But in reality, in hypnosis, we teach that you learn things instantly, and the only thing that's preventing you from learning things instantly and learning them gradually is your belief that things that change requires gradual. It takes time. It takes 7 years to change, but in reality, you change instantly. And the more you let go of that belief that they teach you that change takes a long time, and in fact change takes instantly, you become a very, very fast learner. You use the mechanism called your brain, and you use its primary function, which is what? Learning. Your brain is a learning machine. When you let go of the belief, the block, the inhibition that you can learn fast, you can learn instantly. I don't know if you've ever taken speed reading, but in speed reading they teach you it doesn't take time. It doesn't take a long time to learn speed reading. The only thing that's preventing you from speed reading is your belief that it takes a long time to learn speed reading. It's not hard to do, it's just different to do. It's a different form of reading. And so let me list out a few more things, and then I'll give you the solution. The enlightenment that you need, aside from being human. So number 1, have you ever required recognition? Number 2, the disregard for others' feelings. Now, have you ever been in an argument with somebody who is completely emotional to the point where you say, this person is arguing based on emotions. I really have a disregard. I don't need to regard for this person's feelings because their feeling is completely irrational. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's just there's no need for it. There's no need to honor that part of that argument. It doesn't make any sense to argue against someone's emotions because emotion is not a form of logic. Emotion is not a form of reason. To argue emotionally is to argue illogically, to deny logic, and to be irrational, to deny rationality. Number 3, inability to handle criticism. Have you ever posted on social media and think, man, what are these people going to say? Have you ever had somebody criticize you and you get angry? Number 4, social isolation. Have you ever found yourself, you would rather be isolated than hang out with some people? I do. Now you recognize that you have every single one of these, you've engaged with every single one of these, and then you don't consider yourself as having an excessive grandiose of yourself. Here's the truth. Every single one of us, our primary concern is ourself. It's because we have an ego. Ego is a byproduct of language. It's what makes us human. It also gives us the incredible ability to create abstractions, our ability to communicate. Either you have the ability to communicate and create abstractions and have an ego, or you don't have the ability to communicate and create abstractions and have no ego, which doesn't make you human. Do you understand? And so every single one of us has this, and the only distinction that makes somebody quote-unquote excessive to the point that it's a detriment to every relationship is recognizing a little piece of enlightenment. And that piece of enlightenment is this, is that to care about the opinion of other people whom you don't care for, nor admire, nor know, is literally insane. Think about it. It's like when you're painting a painting and you finished your painting and you look to your right and you ask your pet goldfish and you ask your pet goldfish, what do you think of my painting? And then you imagine in your mind your pet goldfish says, your painting sucks. And then you say, yeah, that's right, it does suck. And you throw away your painting. To care for the opinions of other people you don't know, will never get to know, don't care, will never get to care for, nor admire, is literally crazy. If you want to know more about psychology enhancement and relationship mastery, go to greatrelationshipsyou.com. Share this video with other people. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.